Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Wow, I'm not even sure what that's filming right now. It's like an ashtray or something. I have no idea. Must have been moved. Look at this guy, man. You know, I used to kind of like thought he was funny and stuff, but I've actually followed this Dr. Grande wacko on like when he's done cases that I knew about, and then I realized he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And Delphi is one of them. This guy had no clue. And unfortunately, he's got a lot of viewers, and it stoked the flames of conspiracy. Oh, he goes, does he think he did it? Yeah, but was there reasonable doubt? Yes. No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. That's because you, Dr. Grande, do not know the case. That's the truth. You got some lackey over here giving you notes and telling you exactly what they want you to know. And so you're out there saying it. I mean, look at these comments. Thank you. And the whole thing was about, it was pro Richard Allen's side, basically. He's 100% guilty. Why aren't they looking into the boyfriend and his dad? Who? What? What are you talking about? And oh, you mean Holder? Or yeah, Jesus. An innocent man would be hollering all the way to trial, fighting for his life. Okay, here we go. Finally, we got one. He didn't. He confessed. There we go. We got one positive one. There's definitely something wrong with this case. I believe the Odin theory is more likely. Oh, Jesus. Not that's definitely the bridge guy. He's a twisted monster. Okay, we got a few in here. You bet he was Dr. Grande. He was railroaded. Such well-balanced and thought-out argument for and against. No, it wasn't. Interesting. I called it. I guarantee you, next thing you know, Stephanie Lazarus will be released because of the incredible faulty evidence used to convict her. People are bashing you in Michelle After Dark. Why are they bashing her in Michelle After Dark? She's just as dumb as he is. She's an embarrassment. Thanks, Dr. Grande, for the update. It's so sad what happened to those sweet young girls. I am praying for them. But Dr. Grande, watch Grant Hughes' video. Hey, look at that. Of the timeline. It leaves no doubt. There you go. Hey, everybody. I didn't see that one before, but there's somebody out there with common sense, everybody. Isn't that amazing? You didn't mention Keegan Kline, who had been in contact with the girls about... Okay, why would he have to... He said he passed 3 people when he was going to the trail. Did they ever come forward? Yeah. See, Dr. Grande doesn't know the case. He's one of those hacks that's given the bullet points and comes up with some creative, funny lines, and he's got a shitload of subs, so it doesn't matter what he talks about. He could talk about how to pour a glass of water and we'll get 50,000 views and make a couple $100. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. If I got into a debate with him over this case, I would blow him away. He wouldn't even come close. Something stinks in Delphi, and it's not the cow manure. Poor man was 1,000% railroaded. Allen is the pokey. See, that's why it's irresponsible for him. But then I commented 4 hours ago. I said, you forgot to include that Richard Allen answered every question they had before the tip of Richard Allen was found. Again, your knowledge is poor. He confessed. Oh, it goes this direction. No, the answer is no to his post, the title. And I don't have to watch the video. But I watched it. Your knowledge of the case is poor. The phone never moved from under Abby's leg during the time the phone jack was set off, so water or dirt likely caused that, unless the person reached under the body and plugged the phone in. Where's your logic on that? Again, your knowledge is poor. He confessed before his mental illness took place. He also had information only the killer would know. That he left that part out. Can you believe that, you guys? He left out that Richard Allen mentions the white van. I mean, what an idiot. Saw a van that was driven by Brad Weber. Again, you don't know the case well. You forgot to include that Richard Allen answered every question they had before the tip of Richard Allen was found. Yeah, anyways, it's just, I get sick of it, you know. Hopefully you guys feel the same way. God, I'm not sure what's going on with this crap. What's going on? There's just clips and clips and clips and clips. Jesus. On his couch. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, let's see. I don't even know what that guy is. He does stuff that has nothing to do with being a doctor and anything. You know. Covering like a basketball, you know, the Tyson fight. Really? You're going to cover the Tyson fight? What do you know about that, man? Yeah. Well, you guys, we're currently starting the show off at 0. We're at 0 already. Isn't that amazing? So if there's anybody out there that wants to help support the channel, that'd be great. Let's try not to keep going down this lonely road of nothingness. All right, let's see. What do we got here? I'm going to move it to the 14th. Okay, so what we did the 25th, right? So now we're on to the 26th. There we go. We're on to the 26th, October 26th information. All right, you guys ready? On day 8 of the Delphi murders trial, exactly 2 years after Richard Allen was arrested, Indiana State Police Lieutenant Jerry Holeman was called to the witness stand to recount both the arrest of Richard Allen and interviews he gave in 2022 regarding the 2017 murders of Abby Williams and Libby German near the Monon High Bridge in Delphi, Indiana. This follows 7 days of trial in which Melissa Oberg, a former... Did I do this yesterday, this part? I think I started and then I stopped, maybe. I guess we'll see here in a minute. Defense attorney Brad Rosie challenged the conclusiveness of... Okay, that was about yesterday. On October 26, 2022, Richard Allen was arrested in relation to the murders. By that time, he had Oberg's findings that investigators believe linked Allen's gun to the unspent bullet at the crime scene. On this date, Lieutenant Holeman interviewed Allen at the ISP post in Lafayette. While there, Holeman reminded Allen he still had his Miranda rights to remain silent, although the video of him saying that's missing. Yeah. Per Holeman, this interview was not recorded on tape. Well, I guess it wasn't recorded due to technical difficulties. And the interview, Holeman, and by the way, in the interview, you know that Richard Allen was given Miranda rights because he tells his wife, hey, if you ask for an attorney, they'll stop asking, me questions or her questions. So that means he already knew. Amid the interview, Holeman asked Allen to explain why a bullet from his gun was left at the murder scene. The round from the murder scene matched the gun found at Mr. Allen's house, Holeman said. Allen told Holeman no one had ever borrowed his Sig Sauer, his clothes, or his car. He never carried his gun unless he went fishing or mushroom hunting. He told the investigators. Right, but how about when you're looking at fish? He said he didn't have the Sig Sauer with him on February 13th and couldn't explain why a round linked to the firearm was found near the bodies of Abby Williams and Liberty German. While Allen was asked how he typically carried a gun and confirmed he would normally carry in a side holster, he denied giving further answers. This led Holeman to try a different tactic. So let's see, while Allen was asked how he typically carried a gun and confirmed he would normally carry it in a side holster. I think that's interesting. Because when you look at this picture here, the Delphi picture, you know, could he have it on a holster underneath on his right side, and then he's just kind of got a hold of the gun itself and is rotating it in the holster? You know what I'm talking about, right? And then he pulls it out from the holster from underneath that jacket. I think that might be exactly what's doing. All right, everybody. So tonight we're doing a show, and when we do these shows, if anybody's out there that wants to become a channel member or help support the channel, I would appreciate it. The channel relies on you guys. We're currently at 0 until Timothy Cecil just supported the channel. Said, Gray, sorry my X account was hacked and I had some crazy stuff going on, but I'm here tonight. All right, cool, thanks. But yeah, the channel relies on you guys. This topic, you get the yellow symbol of death, where there's no ad revenue or anything. So when you do a 3-hour show, if nobody was supporting the channel, it would just be me doing a show for absolutely nothing. You know, when this is actually a job that I have. Hey, thanks, Sunflower. Welcome to the Freaks. Welcome. Freaks 101. And Richard Watts, thank you. Alan told Holeman no one had borrowed his Sig Sauer. Yeah, so while Alan was asked how he typically carried the gun, he would normally carry it in a side holster. He denied giving further answers. He denied giving, what does that mean? This led Holeman to try a different tactic. I have been trained in many techniques to conduct interviews, said Holeman. In this case, the technique he had to implement was to lie to obtain information, which is totally legal. Hey, thanks, Long Island Hillbilly. Richard Allen wouldn't break his mom's heart with a false confession. Right. The confession is true also because, well, the first one didn't mention the bridge, but, I mean, he basically begged them to believe him. He didn't mention the vehicle, I mean, that was driving on the private drive. And so in that one's absolutely true. I thought it was interesting yesterday because, see, he told, I think it was Holeman, right? Or no, it was Liggett, that he was visiting his mother. And then he went home and got a jacket and went to the bridge, which is exactly similar, but had more detail when he confessed to Dr. Walla. He said that he went home, went to his mother's house. They were going to go have lunch, and he didn't want to go to lunch, so he went to get beer, and then he went home, drank 3 of them, then got his jacket, and then he goes out to the bridge. So he actually added more information in there. Isn't that amazing? And then in that same one, he mentions the van driving on the private drive. But yeah, that would, you're right. So why would he want to, if he was lying, would he just let his mom feel like crap like that? I don't think so. Thank you, Sandy Shirley. What was that?
Great.
I don't know what that means, L. Waters. Huh? Gray, was that the 2 times BG was seen on the video? I saw it on the closing day. I was stunned. What do you mean the 2 times? He's only seen once on there for 2 seconds. Maybe he is on there again. It's just too blurry. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by gray. Was that the 2 times? I don't know what that means. No, oh, I see in my video. I just zoom in and I'll make him bigger. That's it. Yeah, I just zoom in and make him bigger. Just so I get a better look of it. The first one I put him back in the distance to show where he was on the bridge, and then I bring him in a little closer. So that's not, it's the same video over and over again. And it's just an overlay on top of, see when you watch this video here, watch. See that in the background? There's people back there. This is just, I took a still image that's almost the exact angle, and I put the bridge guy video that law enforcement released, and I stabilized each frame by frame, to match that forked tree in the background, so that you could actually see the way he moved. The way law enforcement released it, you can't see the way he moved, because they sort of centered his middle of his body, so his legs are just kind of moving around. Thank you, Chris Ketchmark. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Yeah, you don't need to greet individually everybody, Sandy. Just say, hello, everybody. I will help you all you are on. Nobody knows what that means, Tom. You have to retype that sentence. Nobody knows what the hell that means. I don't have time to do that whole reenactment. It wouldn't shut anybody down. The information I've put out should shut down everybody. It doesn't work. Okay? It doesn't work. Yeah, but either did the prosecution, Moonshadow. So the prosecution would be, why would the defense bring that up? That should be something the prosecution asked for. But you got to realize, when you have a person like Kathy Allen, she's not going to say anything. She's not going to, Richard Allen could have came home muddy and bloody and asked her to wash the clothes, and she's not going to say anything. So you go, yeah, when I came home, everything was normal. That's what she would say. So it doesn't benefit the prosecution to call a witness that has likely been coached by the defense to say certain things. Well, thanks, L. Waters. That thing took me forever to make that. Even the animation that I made a long time ago, I actually did the movements. I have this thing, it's called IPI Soft, where you wear these gloves and everything, and I'd walk around and do each motion, then I would apply it to a character that I had. So I had a character for Abby and a character for Libby, and then I did all their different things, and I used 3D Studio Max with the actual still frames from the bridge, and then I used this thing called, I had to build a 3D version of the bridge to fit right into the same rails and everything visually. And then I use them to capture the shadows, and then I remove that from the rendering, and at the end you just have these shadows that show up on the original matte, the matted image in the background, or the image in the background. So it looked like they were actually on the bridge, but they weren't. The shadows are what give the illusion of them being there. Without the shadows, they're just these figures. You wouldn't know where they were. I don't know what that means, Tom. You lost? Who's Sohn? Is that a team or sport team? I don't know who Sohn is. I just lost to Sone. I don't know what that means, man. Sorry, Tom. If you're saying you just lost a son, then I'm sorry that happened. I don't know what that means other than that. I don't know what they're saying. Do you see anything else? Oh, I see. Way up at the top. Oh, sorry to hear that. That sucks. I just couldn't make out anything he was typing in. I didn't see that one either. TWO, yeah. Well, that's what Becky said, that she would always tell people to watch the animation that I made because, but guess what? I mean, I did use some good girl code there. I deciphered that maybe he said, but I just lost, I guess it's supposed to be two sons. It was hard to make out. But yeah, Becky would tell people to watch the video because that's basically how it goes in the video. In the stabilized version. I mean, that's what happened. Hey, thanks, Karen. She said I won't have my chat on tonight, but I'm here and listening.
I won't have my chat on tonight, but I am here and listening. Just not feeling well.
Right, but they didn't bring her up because they didn't probably trust her that the prosecution might not have been able to twist something around on cross or something. Or maybe Richard Allen didn't want her. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't really care that much. The case ended exactly how it should have ended. I know, I'm learning girl code a little bit. Right, anyways, Alan told Holeman no one had ever borrowed his 6 hour. We already did that. I have been trained in my techniques. And anyways, he said he's able. He said that he was able to lie to obtain information, and thus Holeman told Alan he had pictures and audio of him on the Monon High Bridge. But he does though. That's the funny thing is he wasn't actually lying. Yeah, that's the thing, proving Alan was the bridge guy. So maybe he was implying there was other video other than that. Captured on Libby's cell phone, who commanded the girls to go down the bridge. You mean go down the hill. Holeman also stated witnesses and experts confirmed this information. And they did. The funny thing is it sort of does. If you believe Richard Allen is the bridge guy, which he is, then the other witnesses who said that the person they saw on the trails was him, and Betsy Blair saw him standing on the bridge. At the trial, Holeman had to admit to the jury that this was a lie to get more info out of Allen. Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin asked Holeman, yeah, there wasn't other people that saw him way out there on the other end of the bridge, if he leveraged Allen's wife and daughter, and none of those people could name Richard Allen. They just saw the person they saw was bridge guy, and Richard Allen turns out to be bridge guy. Holeman also said on trial that he did not know who the witnesses were who did see Richard Allen's car on the trail. I told two lies that day, said Holeman. Baldwin pressed Holeman here, questioning his role as the lead investigator. At this time, it remains unclear if the second lie refers to Holeman saying witnesses saw bridge guy or whether witnesses specifically saw Richard Allen. Well, the first one isn't a lie, but the second one might be because, I mean, it is because nobody said Richard Allen. Holeman also told Allen, I'm not lying to you. That's not ethical. With the death penalty on the line, Allen then said, I don't care, kill me. I want to die anyways. Right, why would you say that, though, if you're totally innocent on the 26th? Why would you be so like, I want to die anyways? That's kind of weird, right? I mean, if you're completely innocent, you just go, dude, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. Yeah, I was out there. I walked on the trail, but that's not me. You know, I wasn't there. I have nothing to do with it. Not, I want to die anyways, man. That sort of shows guilt, you know? Like, what are you talking about? Well, it's just that all my neighbors now, they don't... jeez. I get that. That's old, man. I guess there isn't up here. It says defense attorney Andrew Baldwin asked Holeman if he had leveraged Allen's wife and daughter. Holeman said that wasn't his intention. Holeman also said on trial that he did not know who the witnesses were who did see Richard Allen's car on the trail. I told 2 lies that day, right? And then Holeman also told Allen, I'm not lying to you. That's not ethical. With the death penalty on the line, Allen then said, I don't care, kill me. I'm gonna die anyway. The investigator insisted the cartridge found at the scene had been cycled through Allen's gun. Allen again told him it wasn't possible. There's no way that round cycled through my gun, Allen said. I don't know how it got there. Holeman testified that they never took the results of the bullet markings anywhere else but the ISP lab. Later in the interview, Richard Allen denied killing the girls 20 to 25 times, according to Holeman. He reportedly told the lieutenant, I'm not going to tell you something I didn't do. And then we know that later on he absolutely said that. Yeah, you know what? You know what's amazing, you guys? I don't need the bullet, nor do I need Sarah Carbaugh, and it's still Bridge Guy without a shadow of a doubt. You get it? That's the thing, man. I always mention the bullet as an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, the bullet. Because Richard Allen is Bridge Guy, and he lied with information that only the killer would know. The bullet is something that he said that he ejected in his confession with the information that only the killer would know. And therefore, you can then assume that the bullet found at the crime scene is the one that he's talking about. Now, how it got there? Did he collect the bullet, put it in his pocket, and it fell out at the crime scene? Did he eject? Did it get stuck in a jacket and fall out at the crime scene? Nobody knows. Or was it another bullet that was ejected? Or maybe there wasn't one in the chamber. He put one in the chamber, then ejected it later at the crime scene. Thank you, Herbert Landscaping. I'm not sure who you're talking about, Cindy. Let's see. Holeman then asked that a trooper told Allen he was not a bad person. Wait, hold on. Holeman initially did not know what this meant. Holeman stated that while troopers... I think I skipped down the page or something. Oh yeah. Holeman testified that they never took the results of the bullet markings anywhere else. Richard Allen denied 25 times. However, despite denying the bullet left the murder scene was from his gun, Holeman said Allen... However, despite denying the bullet left at the murder scene was from his gun, Holeman said Allen did admit to being on the trail that day near where Abby and Libby were killed. Holeman stated that while troopers were searching his house, Richard Allen said, I don't care, it's over. Holeman initially did not know what that meant, so Allen reportedly said the interview explained it. The interview explained it. Holeman then asked that a trooper told Allen he was not a bad person. Allen responded to this asking what kind of good person would kill... Now, the answer he gave was that he thought the community knew that they were searching for, that he was Bridge Guy, and then he thought that, his life was over because of that. That was the answer. I don't know if they just didn't get it for this. Allen responded to this asking what kind of good person would kill 2 girls. That trooper advised Allen he was free to leave. Allen said he was done but continued to talk, Holeman said. According to him, Allen then... see, that's what guilty people do. You know, they said, yeah, you're free to leave, but he didn't really want to go yet because he wasn't sure quite yet, you know, what's going to happen next, you know, so he keeps talking. He keeps wanting to, you know, still trying to figure out what they got. That trooper advised Alan he was free to leave. Alan said he was done. But, you know, then he continued to talk, Holeman said. According to him, Alan then stated, "You have all the evidence. Just arrest me then." At the trial, Baldwin asked Holeman if he found the various bridge guy witness credible. Holeman replied that he did. Holeman was asked if Alan parked at the old CPS building and if it was the working theory that Alan never took Libby German's phone or moved it. Holeman answered in the affirmative. The defense attorney noted that Alan never threw away his clothes or gun. He didn't sell his car. Yeah, right. He asked Holeman if he thought one person committed the crime, to which he responded, "I believe that now." When pressed, Holeman compared the case to a drug deal in which multiple people talk and provide further insight on crimes. Now, Holeman said he believes Libby German was killed at a tree where blood was found away from Abby Williams. At the autopsy, Liberty German was reported to be 5'4" and 200 pounds, and that's something we told everybody years ago. For reference, Richard Allen is 5'4" and 145 pounds. Now, right, sure, he didn't weigh that then. I bet you he weighed 180 pounds minimum back in 2017, and that he was, you know, he's much stronger and easily could move Libby a little, you know, the distance on the ground to where she was found. Holeman was then questioned if he and ISP had a video of Bridge Guy in order to see how tall he appeared to be in the video. They responded by saying they did, but they never tested it due to his height. Let's see. Holeman was then questioned if ISP had a video of Bridge Guy in order to see how tall he appeared in the video. He responded by saying they did, but never tested it. What do you mean due to his? I mean, you're not due to his height. I mean, they never tested it to get his height. Or I guess due to his height potentially being outside of an accuracy range by 2 inches. Right. Yeah, I think it's smart that they didn't do a test. Internally, they may have done a few little things. Wow, you know, this guy looks kind of a little shorter. But you don't want to get an expert, pay them, and they come back and say, we think he's about 5'8". Well, then all of a sudden, you're stuck with that. And you're not going to be able to, at trial, they go, well, your expert said he was 5'8". Our guy's 5'4". That's a big difference, right? Instead, you just have this height. You know, we came up with 5 feet to 5'7" using AI, and I was able to put the side rail in. Apparently, in the original video, there is a side rail. Holeman was then questioned if he and ISP had a video of Bridge Guy in order to see how tall. Yeah, we just did that. Later, Lieutenant Holeman noted that a strand of hair found in Abby's hand did connect to a member of Libby German's family, but it was not tested until this past week. And doesn't everybody just think that's okay? Why would you test that hair? Once you knew that it was one of Libby's family members, it's a waste of time. Okay? And it was a female member of Libby's family. You know, and they tested it, and what a waste of time it was, except for the conspiracy nutters out there who believe that somehow Kelsey and a cabal of other family members must have been involved. Hey, Mr. Beer, you're just a troll, okay? Hey, by the way, Mr. Beer, where is your money, man? Where is it? Come on, everybody. Let's do a troll fund now, because Mr. Beer came in here trolling the channel. Yeah, and by the way, Mr. Beer and all the other people out there that don't like, yes, I do on this channel. I try to get people to send in super chats, and that is why and the super chats and my ad revenue and everything like that has allowed us to give away, at the end of each month, I give away a large portion of my income, and we've given over $220,000. All right, Mr. Beer, how much have you given? The answer is 0, because you're an idiot. All right? That's not fair, Gray.
It's unfair to criticize Holeman for raising his voice or using language when worse happens in their chats. They should hold themselves to the same standards they expect of love.
It's unfair to criticize Holeman for raising his voice or using language when worse happens in their chats. Who's there? What do you mean? They should hold themselves to the same standards they expect of law enforcement. You mean the psychos out there? Hello, Lillian. Thanks, Chicken Wing. And the actual numbers are right here, so hold on. God, I need a new mouse, I think. There we go. Yeah, it's $221,500 since January of 2020. So the way it went is there's actually more, because in 2019 we gave like 5,000 or so, but you know, we just started really kind of counting in 2020. So that's 22,000 in 2020, 42,000 in 2021, 62,000 in 2022, and 57,000 in 2023, and we're at 42,000 this year. I'm hoping to get to 50. Well, I guess we'll have to see how it goes, but we should be able to do that. And that would be our third best year ever. 50 would be pretty cool. Kind of sucks to go backwards, though. So, and that is, we've given money to Texas Equisearch, Rain, Knickknack, Abby and Libby Ballpark. I bet we've given them $7,000 or $8,000 over the years. I mean, just a lot of money. And we have a DNA fund with over 90,000, 92,000 in there. And then we also have a scholarship fund, which we've put 12,000 in so far. And so all of you trolls out there that don't like the fact that I try to get super chats and raise money in here, go F yourselves, okay? I'm sick of it, all right? If I don't ask, it doesn't happen, and it's just part of it now. I don't like having to ask. I wish you guys would just support the channel knowing what we do. But unfortunately, we get these long 45 minutes to an hour lull and have to say, hey, everybody, if you could help support the channel, and then maybe somebody does, and maybe somebody doesn't, etc. But I just want to be able to keep doing what we're doing, all right? So if you can, that'd be great. If you can't, you can't. All right, and look at 15 idiots left because I was explaining that. Gray, I came here to listen to true crime. Okay, well, just do something else, please. Was killed at a tree. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, okay, so then Libby was 5'4", 200 pounds. For reference, Richard Allen's 5'4", 145. See, these articles are always, they kind of do this little slant. No, there's not a reference. Yeah, he was way bigger than 145 in 2017. Holeman was then questioned if he and ISP had a video of Bridge Guy in order to see how tall he appeared in the video. He responded by saying they did, but never tested it due to his height potentially being outside of accuracy range by about 2 inches. Later, Lieutenant Holeman noted that a strand of hair found in Abby's hand did connect to a member of Libby's family, but it was not tested until this past week. According to Holeman, that is because no member of the German family was suspected of the crime, and not only that, it was a female version hair, and so that would be Becky, Tara, or and Kelsey. But Abby was wearing Kelsey's. Not only that, listen to this. Abby had on, I believe the sweatshirt, too, the gray sweatshirt, was also one of Kelsey's. So Abby had on one of Kelsey's shirts twice. So doesn't it make sense that there might be a hair from Kelsey in the hand? No DNA was found in Richard Allen's car or house linking him to the crime scene. Holeman was asked by the defense if it was a mistake for multiple sticks to be left at the scene of the murder, and he said no, he proclaimed, but mistakes were made. Holeman said he believed the sticks were used to camouflage the girls' bodies rather than be used to position them in a certain way. I think they should have collected them and held on to them and seen if there was any other technology. You know, everything that they did actually helps Richard Allen that they didn't do. You know, it's like, ah, man, because he is Bridge Guy. He doesn't, however, think Allen may have heard somebody, such as a car that interrupted him during the murder. Before he killed them, after, I don't know. Yeah, so I think he heard something twice, in my opinion. I think he heard something down below, like his confession says, and I think he heard people like Cheyenne when he was at the crime scene with the girls, continuing to do what he was doing. And I'm not necessarily sure that they were killed right there at 2:32. I think the phone didn't move anymore after that. I just think I think it's possible that they were still alive around 3:15 even. And then they heard noise on the bridge, and then he killed him. Well, the thing is he killed him, and then he was building the sticks, and then got interrupted. So it's more like that. Like, I don't think he killed him. I think he killed him because he wanted to kill him. Just like, okay, I'm killing him now. He took him across the creek after the van drove by, and then he continued to do what he was doing. And he had him undress and do whatever they're doing, and then he had Abby dress again, and then he killed them because he was selfish, he said. See, you get that part? He was interrupted, and then he killed him because he was selfish later. So I think it was after he did all these things, and then he heard voices on the bridge, and he stopped himself from continuing to build. Like, he was just going to lay some sticks and then cover them with leaves to hold the leaves on there, so they'd be impossible to see, basically. Very difficult. And he got interrupted in the middle of that, and he just got the hell out of there. Doesn't that make the most sense? Yeah, I don't know. They've also said 3:30 before Georgina. So 3 p.m. kind of makes sense. They're dead, and then he goes out and he tries to build and he had to wait for them to die, and then he has to put the sticks on there. Maybe he's out of there. He's, starting to build up the sticks, and at 3:30 he gets interrupted and he gets out of there. Thanks, Lillian. And your gypsy from earlier today. No DNA was found in Richard Allen's car or house linking him to the crime scene. Right, 5.5 years later. Holeman was asked by the defense if it was a mistake for the multiple sticks to be left. He said no, but mistakes were made. Holeman said he believed the sticks were used to camouflage the girl's body. He does, however, think Allen may have heard somebody, such as a car, that interrupted him during the murder. And that gives the jury, that's interesting. And then later on, he admits to having a car interrupt him. Holeman said he believed the sticks were used. Okay, he does, however, think Allen. Okay, we already read that too. The lieutenant added to these beliefs, saying he does not agree with the defense's theory that Abby and Libby were picked up in a car on Monday afternoon. I mean, what a joke. Had their bodies brought back and were dumped in the water the following morning. Right, so that means you have to like get them wet and then put them back up there. Holeman also said there was nothing to contradict the theory. Hold on. There was nothing to contradict the theory that Libby German's phone stayed at the murder scene the entire time. Right. So the phone did not move again, even though it appeared that a jack was plugged in. Hold on a second. I gotta block that. Some Alabama. Here, I'll call it back.
Is busy or unavailable.
Okay. Well, that one's blocked. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Per defense attorney Andrew Baldwin, Richard Allen was interviewed on October 13th and 26th of 2022. The defense now wants the videos of those interviews to be played in court. According to Special Judge Fran Gould, these videos will be played next week. I think that was a Saturday, right? So the 26th, no, that's not. So I'm missing, wait, no, hold on. Nope, I think it was. Yep, 26th was Saturday, 27th off, and then the 28th. Here we go. All right, you guys, we're having one of those massive lulls again. If you guys are out there and you can help support the channel, that'd be great. This is the Monday, 28th. It has taken more than 7 years for prosecutors to bring evidence regarding the murders of Abby Williams, 13, and Liberty German, 14, before a jury. For 8 days, 7 women and 5 men have sat in the jury box of a Carroll County courtroom and listened to the accounts of family members, witnesses, experts, and police officers in the state. Okay, let's see. Have been told for 5.5 years after a burst of tips and that they got a tip came in. When's the new stuff? Okay, is this the... I have another one on the 28th. Okay, now we got a troll with using a spoof number thing. Yeah. Damn it. There we go. Man, it's gonna be another one of those nights. You know, if you take just away the Guinevere moon mist, we wouldn't even be close to a goal today, you guys. From earlier. Pretend I'm Starbucks, you guys. I've been, and I just made you a drink. They better not be using well, they were. I don't know if it was Alabama or not, but let's see. Dr. Core, the pathologist who conducted. I think this is like a recap or something, right? Yeah. So let's go to the next one. I don't know. What was done on the 8th day? I don't know. We're just have to skip that one. I guess we have to go to... Hold on. Maybe this one. Let me try this. Delphi murder reviewed murder evidence missteps during second week of court. Holeman also admitted to jurors that he had misrepresented Oberg's firearm match findings to other investigators. He did not record Allen's conversations in his car. He said it was like a DNA almost, but it's not quite like that. I guess we could go over this anyways. I don't know. Do you guys want to go over this? There's a lot of stuff in here. Let's see. It's taken more than 7 years for prosecutors to bring evidence regarding the case. They've been told that for 5.5 years after a burst of tips and slight initial progress, the investigation into the murders went cold. Save for video captured on Libby's cell phone of Bridge Guy, the suspected killer, stalking the girls on the Monon High Bridge and then ordering them guys down the hill towards the south bank of Deer Creek, followed the next day, February 14, 2017, with the discovery of the bodies and a single unfired bullet buried nose first into the ground at the crime scene, at least 20 yards up the opposite creek bank on the private property. Dr. Roland Core, the pathologist who conducted the autopsy, said both girls died of deep lacerations to their necks, but there were no signs of sexual assault injury, though a pair of sketches were generated as the result of the witness description of men. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, one middle-aged, the other significantly younger, who were spotted on the nature trail leading up to the bridge that day. Investigators remained stymied in their search for the alleged killer. The sketches were ruled out. Let's see. After years of seemingly cold investigation, despite Indiana State Police assurances the case was still active, in September 21st of 2022, Kathy Shank, a volunteer who... This is kind of like a recap of everything. Tasked with scanning bankers' boxes full of files in a central investigative database, pulled open the drawer of a desk in a soon-to-be abandoned office and discovered a file that contained an initial tip sheet from February of 2017, just a couple days after the murders, in which a man listed as Rick Allen Whiteman called in to self-report. I guess he went into the office, though, that he was on the bridge that day. On the tip sheet, someone had written the word cleared. Shank testified that she read the report and immediately identified a clerical error that misinterpreted Allen's home address of Whiteman Drive as his last name. The retired government employee took the file to Chief Deputy Liggett of the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, who was running for sheriff in the upcoming election. A security camera captured the image of a car resembling Allen's vehicle parked at a business along... It captured it driving by the Hoosier Harvest Store, and they believe it parked at the abandoned CPS building. Sarah Carbaugh told jurors she saw the bridge guy walking along the road covered with mud as if he had fallen in the creek or down the hill approximately 90 minutes after investigators say the girls were killed. Carbaugh did not say Allen resembled Bridge Guy, and even though the defendant is 5'4" and approximately 145 pounds, neither the prosecution nor the defense asked the witness to describe the size of the man she saw. The Indiana Department of Natural Resource Officer Dan Doolin received the original Rick Allen Whiteman tipped to follow up on February 16th, 2 days after the bodies were discovered, and more than 5 years after the misfiled original report would be discovered. Doolin testified that he interviewed Allen in the parking lot of a grocery store after unsuccessfully attempting to interview him at the police headquarters and his home. The conservation officer said Allen told him he was on the bridge trail at 1 to 3 p.m., then changed it to 1:30 to 3:30, Allen did. Doolin said he did not find any reason to not believe Allen's story that he had parked his car near County Road 300 North, that he spotted 3 young women walking on the trail, that he was focused on his cell phone and reading a stock ticker during his walk to the bridge, and upon his arrival watched fish in the water. Well, but I thought that was, the fish part was in, I don't know if that was in Doolin's report. I thought the fish was in his later revised report in October of 2022. Allen showed Doolin the phone he was carrying, and the officer wrote down its model and other identifying information. Doolin told jurors he wrote up his report and submitted it to Unified Command, which included the Delphi Police, the Carroll County Sheriff's, Indiana State Police, and the FBI, as well as law enforcement officers from around the state. His report remained unexamined in the file for more than 5 years. Upon a call from investigators in the fall of 2022, Doolin said he plugged Allen's name into the DNR database and discovered that upon renewal of his fishing license 6 weeks after the killing, Allen changed his height to 5'4" to 5'6", which is crazy. Let's see. I mean, nobody does that. On October 13th, Liggett and former Delphi Police Chief Steve Mullen, who had retired to become chief investigator for the Carroll County prosecutor, called Allen to the headquarters for an interview, advised him of his Miranda rights to remain silent and have an attorney present during questioning, showed him the photograph of Bridge Guy, and told Allen he was a suspect in the girls' murders. Allen reportedly changed the timeline of his walk along the High Bridge Trail that day to noon to 1:30. But that one also can't be true, because those same 3 girls would have cleared that area as well. Huh? What are you guys talking about? Yeah, that'd be good. But man, you guys are dead as a doornail in here. It's hard to get the the energy. It's just I don't know. I'm just gonna switch over to the 29th. I don't want to keep going over this. Only got a little bit left in me. Let's see. Becky Patty reeled in the gallery as a blood spatter expert described what he believed to be the final bloody moments of her granddaughter's life. As Patty threw herself into her hands, appearing to cry, Richard Allen sat alongside his lawyers as gruesome crime scene photos displayed the bloody remains of Abby Williams and Liberty German to those in attendance at the Carroll County Courthouse. Allen is accused of murdering the 2 girls near the Monon High Bridge in Delphi on February 13, 2017. He was arrested 5 years after they died. After jurors heard about DNA testing during Monday's testimony, Major Pat Cicero of the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department took the stand. Cicero spoke as a bloodstain spatter expert who had testified in 34 different crime cases. Cicero is a crime scene reconstructionist and stated that forensics are my specialty. It should be noted that Cicero wasn't at the original crime scene where the girls' bodies were found. He wasn't brought in to consult on the murder case until February of 2024. Cicero's findings were pulled from studying crime scene photographs and autopsy lab and DNR reports. Graphic crime scene photographs were shown during Cicero's testimony as he described how Libby was literally mortally injured before being dragged 20 feet or so to her final resting place. Previous autopsy findings revealed how the girls' throats were cut, Libby's more than once. Cicero believes Libby had slashed near or against a tree, was slashed near or against a tree, causing blood stains on the bark. Blood on Libby's hands reveals she may have grabbed her throat to try to stop the bleeding, Cicero described. Blood on her foot is consistent with her walking through her blood. Cicero believes Libby was standing upright at one point due to the flow of blood stains on her torso. Blood flow on her thighs reveals she was in a seated position at another point, Cicero said. Jurors and family members appeared distraught as Cicero described moisture consistent with a tear mixed with the girl's blood. Cicero stated the bloodstains and patterns on the tree led him to believe the attack on the girl started at the tree with swipes of a weapon possibly causing stains and spatter on the tree. He also hypothesized that a body or a bloody hand could have created the stains. Libby succumbed to the wounds in a large pool of blood while leaning against a tree, Cicero believes. There she was then dragged to the nearby spot where her body was found. Man, that's crazy. Cicero believes Libby's murder was bloodier than Abby's. Abby had no blood on her hands or sleeves of the sweatshirt she wore. Cicero called it very unusual for there not to be blood on Abby's hands, and that he'd never seen that before when there's no evidence of being tied up unless Abby was unconscious at the time of her death. She might have just passed out with fear, you know. Previous autopsy findings did reveal faint lines on Abby's mouth, with a pathologist theorized could have been tape or clothing of some sort, but that doesn't have anything to do with her hands. But there was no tape residue found and no mention of markings. Yeah, there you go, on Abby's hands. That's the next sentence. There you go. While Abby's body was found partially dressed, wearing Libby's clothes, Cicero stated it was unlikely Abby was dressed after being killed. Right, due to a lack of blood that would otherwise be on parts of her body. That's what I've been telling everybody, that she dressed herself. She was allowed to dress herself, and then she was killed. But you guys, we're currently at one of the worst nights we've ever had. Now, is this night one of the worst shows you've ever seen? So if you're out there, I would appreciate your guys' support. We are struggling. We're currently only at a quarter of a nightly goal, and we're all the way into, like, you know, over an hour. So if you have the ability to help support this channel, I would appreciate it. I'm doing these shows on a nightly basis. I'm not making the videos that I could be making, and I don't know where to. I mean, I've lost 20 subs because when I'm not making videos, I don't get the subs. When I do the live streams, I lose subs, and it's just there's no gain. I guess during the trial I gained but then after the trial's over, you know, people leave. But anyway, I don't know what to say, guys. I need your guys' support on these shows. Anyways, while Abby's body was found partially dressed wearing Libby's clothes, Cicero stated it was unlikely Abby dressed after being killed. I think she was allowed to dress, and then at the last minute he changed his mind. His selfishness took over and he killed her. He was going to let her live. or at least made her feel that way, and then he killed her. When asked about the minimum amount of people it would require to kill 2 girls, Cicero answered that one person alone could have committed the crime, but didn't rule out the possibility of multiple suspects. During cross-examination, the defense team asked Cicero if he ever seen bodies concealed at crime scenes. He said he had. When asked what percentage of those bodies were concealed with sticks, Cicero stated a very small amount. After Cicero's testimony ended, the prosecution moved to admit the search history from Richard Allen's tablet into evidence. The defense objected to this motion, with Special Judge Fran Gould stated she would take the motion under advisement. Day 9 of testimony in the Delphi murder trial ended shortly after 5:30. I think this might be, there's another part to that day, so I guess we'll have to, maybe that one was part A. Richard Allen interview with, let's see, right here. The footage included Allen and Steve Mullen. So this is the video from that last day, right? I don't know, Crimson Clover. Most people, I don't know. I can't do live streams when it's like this. That's all I can tell you. It's not worth my time. I could do the ones where, the videos that I do, they do well, and I get subscribers from them. I like hanging out with the freaks, but, it used to be totally different in here. Not sure what happened. It's crazy. Alright, let's see. The footage included Allen and Steve Mullen, the former Delphi police chief who works as investigator for the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office, Tony Liggett, and investigators on the case, and the current Carroll County Sheriff is also in the video. In the footage, Mullen read Allen his rights, and Allen signed a document. Mullen and Liggett mentioned the interview Allen gave to Dan Doolin. They told him they're going back to the beginning of the case and suggested they're just trying to rule him out. Allen told the pair he served in the Army National Guard and lived much of his life in Mexico, Indiana, which is just north of Peru, Indiana. He worked as a store manager at Walmart and believes he started at CVS in 2013. When asked to recount the events of February 13th, 2017, hold on a second. Yeah, I don't have any negativity. I'm just telling you guys, I'm frustrated that people aren't supporting the channel tonight. I'm doing the same shows that I always do. Alright, so you can bitch and moan and complain. I don't know what to tell you. If I ask, hey everybody, I'm sure with 350 people that it should be simple as hell to reach a goal. It's like 75 cents a person. But it doesn't happen. And those are the nights where it's frustrating. Okay? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And when I see that, I wonder to myself, how would tomorrow be any better? Okay? So, I don't know where these trolls come from. I'm just telling you the reality of it. And we've been doing this for 5 years. And I'd like to continue going, but don't know. Got completely lucky today. When asked to recount the events, he seemed confused about... So he was asked to recount the events of February 13th. Allen said he went to his mother's house in the morning. He remembered it was a warm day. So isn't that interesting that that's in the confession? Hey, thanks to the myth. It was in the confession, the one that had the white van. He said he went to his mother's house. So it's even in this. He remembered it was a warm day. Well, it really wasn't. He went home to get a jacket. See, that even mentions the jacket. And walked on the trails. He estimated he left his mother's house around 11:15 a.m. See, he even says that in that confession. And arrived on the trails around 12, but he forgot that what he didn't say was he didn't mention... See, that's why this is interesting. That's why I want the details in here. See, that's a big thing right there, because those are 3 of the same elements that he used in the actual confession that has the information that only the killer would know. Part he's leaving out of that is that how he had 6 beers. He got 6 beers, drank 3, then he got his jacket and he went to the trails. I mean, don't you guys find that interesting that it's in that too? Which gives it more credibility. He said it arrived on the trails around 12 p.m. to watch the fish. But that's not accurate. And that's not even possible, by the way. It's not possible for him to leave his mom's house, go to a store, buy a 6-pack, go home and drink 3 of them, then get his jacket and be at the bridge by noon. Absolutely didn't do that. But 1:30 is more consistent with that. You know, gets the beer, gets home by noon, go ahead and has those 3 beers and makes his way over to the trail. He seemed confused about where he parked his car. When asked about the route, he said, the way that loops around. When asked if he would have taken another route, he didn't answer. The way that loops around. See, look at that. This is the route that I've said. Now you see other people trying to pretend that they thought of it, but I've had this for a long time. I even drove the route. I think he went like this. Now, this is Richard Allen's house. He drove like this, and then he came over to 450 north, or north 450 west, drove up like this. I don't know if you can see that or not, but and he goes up north 450 west, goes on to west 300 north, goes over the Wilson Bridge, drives up like this, then you take that left, go by the cemetery, go by the Mears property, go by the Hoosier Harvest Store. That's why his car drove by there at 127. Takes a 10-minute drive, and he went there. And that kind of looks like a loop. You know, it's a big loop around, right? Wow. And then when he goes home, he would go a different way, so it makes a big loop. Hey, Wendy Woobles. Yeah, at least a couple of you heard me. Let's see. He seemed confused about where he parked his car when asked about his route. He said, the way that loops around. Whatever the hell that means. When asked if he would have taken another or other route, he didn't answer. You know, and at this point, he knows that they wanted to know who the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building was. But he wants to tell the truth. But he knows the truth, just like when he was asked, is this you in the picture? Well, if one of the girls took that, she said, that's not me. If one of the girls took that picture, it can't be me. So here they're asking, is this, where did you park? And he knows he can't say he parked at the abandoned CPS building. So he just kind of mumbles around, the old building, somewhere around over here. Because he knows that they were looking for the person who parked at the abandoned CPS building. During his videotaped interview, Allen said he left the trail. Let's see. Allen said he told his wife he was on the trails. Actually, I got to go up a little higher, sorry. He seemed confused about where he parked his car. When asked about his route, he said the way that loops around. When asked if he would have taken another route, he didn't answer. Allen said he told his wife he was on the trails. After the murders, she mentioned, this is the interview they're listening to. She mentioned that police were looking to talk to people who may have information. Allen went to the sheriff's office, setting up the tip that led to his interview with DNR officer Dan Doolin. During his videotape interview, Allen said he left the trail at 1:30, 1:45. Okay. He told Liggett and Mullen there were 3 girls he passed while walking on the trail. He told the investigators There were no other vehicles where he parked. Right, so the abandoned CPS building is the last place you would park. So there was no other vehicles there. But he said he left at 1, 1:30, 1:45. I mean, that's a lot. It's a huge variance there. He went out to the platform on the Mononai Bridge to look at fish. So he went to the first platform on the bridge to look at fish. I've been across the high bridge when it was in better shape, he told them. Liggett and Mullen asked him which car he drove to the trails. He said he normally drove a gray Ford 500, but took a black car when he went out of town. Investigators believe he drove his 2016 Ford Focus. I don't really remember seeing anyone else that day, he said. If I did, they didn't jump out at me. No, you just jumped out at them. Allen said he kept an eye on a stock ticker on his phone while walking on the trail. When he left, he said he went home to watch the stock market in order to try to get rich. He told the investigators he was wearing blue jeans and a Carhartt jacket that day. He had a black one and blue one at the time, but believed he wore the black one. He wore the black one. Okay. That's what he believes he wore. He also said he was wearing a skull cap. Yeah, so for the last year or so, I've been wondering if the skull cap where he's playing pool was the one he was wearing. I've talked about that many times because it looks just like the one that he's wearing when he's playing pool. I think, anyway. I think it's this one right here. See, and it even sort of sticks out a little bit. So I wonder if that's what people thought looks sort of like a bill. Because it kind of sticks out. There's a shadow even from the part that sticks out. We don't care, Banner Lions. You're not sleuthing anything out. Yeah, anyways, I think this is the cap that he's talking. I think this might be the one that's in the actual Bridge Guy video. Right? Okay, and then Allen feels like a main lead. Mullen then asked to see Allen's phone. He asked how long they would need it and said they use Ting for cell phone service. He didn't think he still had his phone from 2017. It's amazing how he remembers not having that phone, but he has all their other phones, and he probably doesn't remember which phone was what year, but he knows he doesn't have that phone. And he believes his wife recycled it. Of course she did, you know. Sounds like I'm going to be somebody's fall guy, Allen said after Mullen read his warrant to him. The conversation we're having, it seems like you think I might have done it. Allen said he wouldn't let investigators go through his car and house. I'm starting to feel like your main lead, he said. Liggett assured him they were just crossing T's and dotting I's, and they talked to people who were on the trail on February 13, 2017. Allen said he wasn't impugning the integrity of the investigators. Hey, thanks, Lisa Noir 23. Appreciate the help. I'm not going to have police going through my house and stuff, he said. He initially gave police the code to his phone and then had second thoughts, telling them, you know what? Let me talk to my wife before we do anything. See, I think that's crazy. Okay, so yesterday, a few days ago, I was thinking that meant that was the 2017 phone, but obviously that's not. They don't have that phone. This is just this interview in 2022. I'm not going to have police going through my house and stuff, he said. Oh yeah, he said that he initially gave them permission to use the phone, but then he changed his mind. Allen said he was no angel of a person, adding that he was like everyone else. Maybe I don't want you looking at every website I visited, he said. Mullen told Allen he wasn't trying to make his life hard. Liggett echoed the point. I don't want you thinking we're coming after you, Liggett told him. I know I wasn't out there that late on the trail, Allen said. Well, you told Dan Doolin 1:30 to 3:30. Mullen told Allen they wanted to search his home so they could rule him out. I had nothing to do with it, Allen responded. I don't want to be any more involved in it than I have to be. Mullen said they wanted to check his car for any biological fluids. Then we can say we looked at Rick, we looked at his car, we didn't find anything in his car, Liggett explained. At that point, Mullen and Liggett left, leaving Allen alone to look at his phone. When they returned, Mullen informed Allen, this is the interview on the 13th, Mullen informed Allen they have video of his car going to the trails. Mullen also revealed he talked to Allen's wife and daughter and learned he had some issues about hurting himself. Allen was then asked if he is Bridge Guy. Is this you? I've never met them, the girls. I've never met them, Allen said. Right, but he was just asking if that was you. He then revealed that he entertained taking his own life thoughts before and was going to shoot himself at some point. It's not like he killed the two girls and now I have psychological problems, he said of his mental health issues. Liggett showed him a photo of a black car. That's your car, he said. After showing him a photo of Bridge Guy, Mullen asked, is that you? That's not me, Allen said of the photo. If it's taken with the girl's phone, that is not me. I have to say, for me, that's one of the most damning sentences I've ever heard. And I think anybody that's intellectually honest would say the same thing. And they just won't, though. You know, people like Rick Snay, you know, Dr. Dipshit Grande, these defense attorneys, etc., they will not tell you that. But to say, that's not me. If it's taken with the girl's phone, that is not me. Well, what you're saying then, what that sentence actually means is, if this picture was taken by anybody other than those girls, I would admit that that's me because it is. There you go. That's what he's saying. He's wearing the same clothing you told us, Liggett said. Just tell us what happened. This is your car. There is zero doubt. Yeah, what a joke. That Dr. Grande guy is an embarrassment. Man, he sure does well, though. Again, another channel, just whatever the more popular opinion is, that's what you go by, everybody, and then you get rewarded. Yeah, and then you got channels like me that scrape and claw and try to get through. You know, sure, you have good time. Like when we were doing the Delphi case, I did well, you know, with ad revenue on my other videos and stuff and live streams and shit. But as soon as it's over, man, we're back to this. You know, just slogging along, hoping to God to get to a goal. It's not fun. Yeah, well, he should have. He should have lawyered up. But you know what? He didn't lawyer up because he wanted to see what they had. That's what they want. That's what he wanted to do. That's why even when they say, he goes, yeah, I'm going to leave now. Well, you know, what else? You know, and he just, that's why it absolutely matches him getting a hold of the tip line too, right? So he gets a hold of the tip line because he wants to get ahead of it and see what they got. Now he's in an interview with Jerry Holeman 5 years later, and he doesn't want to get out of the interview because he still wants to see, what do you got, man? Give me something. Yeah, he is the killer, everybody. In this picture right here, I think he's wearing this hat right here, believe it or not. I mean, let me pull that out. Get that over here. Put that and make that smaller or something. I mean, just, I don't know. I actually think he might be wearing that hat in that picture, and or a hat just like it. And this is just the stuff back here It's just a hoodie that's bunched up behind it, making it look like that. I don't know. That's what I think. I mean, it's the same color, everything. What do you mean? What's that second word you're saying? Yeah, Crime Night's a joke. Okay, Crime Night has been. He'll be sued into oblivion after this is all said and done. Yeah, in my opinion, he thinks he's so smart and intellectual with the most idiotic accent I've ever heard in my life, and it sucks. You know, I don't know what's going on with that. But as soon as I mention his name, people go, "Ooh, let me go look." And if I see you over there, banning. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't have people that even give 1 second of their time. That's not nice, Gray. Well, don't leave a comment then. Don't go, hey, wow, this was really interesting that you've accused Kelsey and the family and corruption, cover-up, and bullshit that you like to do. It's embarrassing. I get so embarrassed when I see any freak or something commenting on the psychos channels and complimenting something. It makes me sick, you know? It's like, where the hell have you been all these years? We're sitting here showing you that you use facts, logic, and reason, and you're over there giving them just any support whatsoever at all. It's shameful. And I'm talking to all of them, you know? It's weird. But I don't know what else to say. You know, people can do whatever they want, man, but it's just absolutely mind-boggling. You know. Hey, thanks, Lucky Lee. Right. Well, now you have, and you'll probably go check it out, right? Yeah, he is a psycho, Guinevere Moonmist. He's one of the worst there ever was. He threatened to kill people in the middle of the night with a knife and stuff like that. He literally threatened to blow up Libyan Abbey Ballpark, and yet he's still sitting there on YouTube. He's a nut job. It's weird. I don't even know what you're talking about, Cindy. I only mentioned one. Yeah. It's weird that YouTube didn't take him down after he said that. What's doubtful, ASB412? What's doubtful? Go ahead, fill in the rest of the sentence. Let's see. Oh, you never heard of Dr. Grande, this idiot that he's sort of funny sometimes because he's sarcastic, but he did the Delphi case, and he left everybody thinking, wow, Richard Allen got a bad deal. He says he thinks he's guilty, but doesn't see that it was proven. It's like, because that means you're stupid. Do you understand that, Dr. Grande? That means your brain doesn't work well. All 12 juror members were able to see it, but you don't know the case, so what you're saying is trying to capitalize on the overall momentum. I would say 80% of the people following the Delphi case are pro-Richard Allen nut jobs, which is scary, you know? No, I didn't see his take on it. I only watch him every once in a while. Oh, that you're going to watch it? Yeah. Well, that doesn't really doubtful. I mean, come on. Type in a sentence. I wouldn't watch it. 100% Dr. Grande. Yeah, he doesn't even know what he's got the formula down. Maybe I should start doing that, you guys. Now, at least I'll be supported on a nightly basis. As long as I'm doing the conspiracy stuff. Works. It actually sells. It's bizarre. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, but you know what? At least the channel will be doing better. Anyways, Liggett showed him a photo of the black car, then he showed him the bridge guy, and then he said, "That's not me," Alan said. If it's taken with the girl's phone, that is not me. But it is you if it wasn't. I wonder why Liggett didn't follow up with that. I guess you didn't want to. Sometimes you don't want to ask the question to give him an out. He's wearing the same clothes you told us, Liggett said. Just tell us what happened. This is your car. There's zero doubt. We're all done here, Alan responded. Your attitude towards me has changed. I feel like I'm being interrogated, he said. You are out there to do this to the girls or to introduce the girls to someone. That's when they still thought maybe Keegan Kline. Mullins said, adding that bridge guy followed the girls to the end of the bridge and forced them down the hill. You're not going to find anything to connect me to the murders. I mean, that's another strange thing to say, right? So I'm not worried about it, Alan said. So arrest me or take me home. He knew he didn't leave any DNA at the scene. He didn't realize that the bullet, at this point, he didn't realize that, because the bullet hadn't even been, his 6th hour hadn't even been found at this point. So he believed, see, look how amazing this is right here. You are not going to find anything that connect me to the murders. He knew how good he was at keeping the, he did not, Danny. He did not. He did not. Dr. Grande is a fool. He said, well, he did say, he goes, I think he did it, but they didn't prove it. They didn't prove it. Okay, they didn't prove it. Oh, he's a fool. I mean, he doesn't know the information. I mean, I can, he didn't, what's the worst part is he never even mentioned that Richard Allen saw a van that was something that only the killer would have known. Why wouldn't he put that in there? Because it made his whole thesis wrong once he threw that in there. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, Danny. I watched it. It was an embarrassment. Yeah, he completely tried to get everybody in there. Huh? I already said that he said that, Daphne. See, Daphne, you're always sort of like a miniature troll in here, I've noticed. You know that? Because I already said that he said that. I said that he said that. He said he was guilty, but then he says, but they didn't prove it. And he was giving all, and he brought up about 40 things that all the conspiracy nutters like. So he was disgusting in that video. I don't care what your opinion is. He was wrong, and he was inaccurate, and he doesn't know the case. Okay? So you can sit there and make excuses for that idiot all day long, but the way he did that video was an embarrassment. He doesn't know the case. If I had a debate with him, he'd get smoked in it. He would lose in 5 seconds. I don't care who you were talking to, Daphne. You're trying to be like, yeah, you're right, Daphne. Yeah. I already know that he said that. I told you that he said that. You always do those little side back comments hoping somebody doesn't see it. It's just ridiculous. Every single time. And what I'm telling you is the truth. He basically spent the entire video trying to prove how Richard Allen isn't the guy and all the information is really weak. But, I think he did it, but the information was really weak and he shouldn't have been convicted. That guy's an idiot if he believes that. So you can go ahead and keep believing it. But the people who saw it know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Right, you saw it, right, MK? Like, as you were watching it, you could see where he was going. And then he tries to play both sides, but with a leaning towards he shouldn't have been found guilty. Yeah, it's just... And that's what, and if you read the comments, 90% of them, yeah, me too, man. I think it was just, yeah, it's sick. Sick shit, man. Embarrassing. I know, they did prove it. That's why he's wrong. The jury got it right. They actually paid attention. I was shocked, to be honest with you. Because a lot of the people are like the fools that comment underneath this video. Hey, thanks, Lizzie Rob. See, Gray, that's why people don't like you. You don't let them have it. Listen, I'm just telling you, I watched the damn thing. He spent almost the entire time talking about how shady the information is that they used on Richard Allen. You know, just saying stuff that wasn't even true about the gun evidence and stuff. Give me a break. Yeah. So anyways, I just don't have time for people trying to make excuses for Dr. Dipshit Grande. I don't give a damn. You know, there's been 3 or 4 cases that I know about really well that he's covered, and he's been off on all of them. But, you know, some of the other ones I think are funny and stuff. So he's going to be the example that I was telling you guys about. When you cover a case, when you know a case and you hear somebody sell a bunch of people absolute nonsensical garbage because they don't know it, then you have to realize that that's what they're doing on the other shows. You just don't know the case well enough to be able to understand it. He's one of my favorites, though, Gray. I can't believe you said that. Jesus. Why don't you go cry somewhere else? Yeah, he's funny sometimes. You know, he's got like a dry humor on some of his shit. It's funny. Yeah, I get it. He's wrong here. So what, Truth Sleuth? Who cares if he has a PhD? Who gives a shit? What does that even mean, Truth Sleuth? Oh, he's got 1.5 million subscribers, so that's why it's such an irresponsible way to be, because you're selling it to way too many people and now the conspiracy. Hey, did you hear what Dr. Grande? Yay, Dr. Grande, yay. Right. It's sort of like the defense attorneys, right? I mean, here he is with a PhD, and yet he's languishing on YouTube, and he's young. Just like these defense attorneys. Oh, boy, they're great. They're the best I've ever seen. And they're young, and they're languishing on YouTube. So you wonder, what was it? Why weren't they able to succeed in that world, right? And I'm saying languishing. I'm on YouTube because this is what I do, but they're on there because the profession that they were in, they're trying to make it work on YouTube. I'm just doing this because that's what I have other work that I do in the computer world, but this is this is my main work that I do. Hey, thanks, Aggie. Thank you for sticking with the facts. Oh my God, look at that. Guinevere Moon Mist again. Jesus. Well, thank you. Overwhelming evidence, including the picture of Richard Allen on the bridge. Right. So now we don't call... This isn't Bridge Guy, you guys. This is Richard Allen right here. See what I'm saying? Overwhelming evidence, including the picture of Richard Allen on the bridge and his voice on the bridge saying, "Down the hill." And the bullet, the scene, maybe a guy with... fall him in prison. That's the only fall got an action he's getting. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. I know, it's amazing. But I'm glad you're sitting around counting, Drizzport. People like you, it's like, did you even comment the entire show? Yeah, somebody, let's see, what else was up there? Hold on. You made a comment way up there. Let's see, what was it? Anything noteworthy? I agree. Channels who get away from the facts to push other stuff gets obvious. Right. I don't know if she did it on this channel, but I don't know. But anyways, I appreciate it, regardless. Yeah, I don't know. I think I got stuck. My screen isn't scrolling. kind of, you know, it's sad, those people making excuses for Dr. Grande on this one. Yeah, I'm doing Koberger tomorrow. Okay, but I'll probably do, you know, keep doing the Delphi thing. So maybe at like 2 or 3, I'll do that one. But anyways, it's the only action he's gonna. It's the only action he's gonna get. Oh, if a guy falls on him, yeah, yeah. Well, thanks, Guinevere. Let's see. How many people in here watch what I'm talking about? I don't know why Danny's getting so upset up there, and why Daphne's got to jump in there and be, hey, he really said. Yeah, I'm going to do, like, see what I'm going to do. Oh, that's right, I'm going to do, let's see, what am I doing? God, tomorrow might be a busy day, but I'm doing Lake and Riley in the evening. So I guess I'll be doing Idaho. That's right, I was going to do Idaho 4 at like 3 o'clock. So I guess what I'll have to do is the following day, I'll do, you know, the next update, do the Delphi recap again, and then Lake and Riley in the evening. That's right, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you guys know exactly what I'm saying, right? He basically spent 70% of the video showing all of the stuff that, boy, what weak evidence this is, right? Wow, this is horrible. And, you know, while I think he did it because he confessed, you know, I just can't imagine them finding him guilty. Right? I mean, that's just sick, really. And it shows that he doesn't know the case at all. And guess what? He's another, I don't know. Forget it. I'm not sure what you're saying, Cindy. I'm still sitting here, aren't I? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With all those subs, are you kidding me? He just got, there was 2,000 comments. 2,000 of them. There was like 2,800 comments. 2,000 of them were like, yeah, man, that's right. I don't think he got screwed because of him. Anyways, let's get back to this. Liggett showed him a photo of the black car. That's your car, he said. After showing him a photo of bridge guy, Mullen asked, is that you? That's not me, Alan said of the photo. If it's taken with a girl's phone, that is not me. That's one of the most insanely guilty sounding things I've ever heard. He's wearing the same clothing you are. That's your car, there's zero doubt. We're all gone. We're all done here, Alan responded. You were out there to do this to those girls, or to introduce them to some other person, Mullen said, adding, that bridge guy followed the girls to the end of the bridge and forced them down the hill. And he is bridge guy. Thanks, Renee. Any plans to interview the family? Yeah, I want to, so we'll see how it goes. You're not going to find anything to connect me to the murder, so I'm not worried about it. The video cut out and then returned. Are you arresting me? Are you arresting me? Alan asked. He added, you lost my trust. This is stupid. Now you're pissing me off. You're an a-hole, directing the comment at Mullen. After the interview ended, Alan was taken home. A few hours later, police arrived with a warrant and conducted a search of his property, where they were able to connect him. Because up above he said, you're not going to find anything to connect me to the crime. Because he knew how careful he was with DNA. He just didn't know that they had found a bullet at the crime scene. Hey, thanks so much, Herbert Landscaping. Cindy's always trying to, like, sort of control the show and what's going on based on her, like, comments that she puts in there. Gray, are you going to keep going over the case tonight? I mean, Yeah, I was planning on it. Are you arresting me? Are you arresting me? Alan asked, he added. Yeah, so anyways, they went and got the search warrant. So they also played, let me go back. Oh, that's the video of him playing pool. God, the guy's nuts. Working on Delphi trials, 14th. Okay, now 29B. So this must be the Jerry Holeman, or the, let's see, yeah, the actual video of the Jerry Holeman one, I think. Let's see. Richard Allen's interview with police took center stage. Here it is. So I guess this is Mullen and Liggett again. What was the first one then? The 29th. Oh, that was that long. Okay. So I guess we don't get, there's no break. Maybe the next day was the Jerry Holeman one? I don't know. Day 11. Oh, so that's Monica Walla. I guess we don't have the Jerry Holeman. Let me see if I can find that really fast. Jerry Holeman. Let's see. Video. Let's see. Video. Richard Allen. Something like that. I didn't spell it right. There's an E in there. Okay, I think that might be the one. It should say the 29th. And there it is. Yep, 29th. Alright. Cool. Let's do this one too. I'm going to put this over here and mark it correctly. So 2024 10 29, yeah, 29. Jesus, man, this is brutal. I can't get the damn date in there. 10 29C. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, I know you don't say anything anymore, Daphne, but every time you do, you try to, you know, like, hey, Danny, hey, you know, it's like, yeah, I know. I already said that out loud on the show, that yes, at the very end he said, I think he's guilty. However, I mean, it was just ridiculous how he did that video. And if you think he fairly covered the case, the Delphi case, when Dr. Dipshit Grande, when he covered that case, if you think he fairly covered that, then you have a mental issue, okay? You have a mental problem, because he did not do that at all. It just was disturbing, and he convinced thousands and thousands of people that there was something wrong. He should have been set free. You know, he did it, but he should have been set free. And isn't that really the mantra out there? Yes, Richard Allen's a barbarian. He killed 2 girls. But who cares? Let's free this guy because we don't like the way he was treated. I mean, how disgusting are you guys? I mean, unbelievable. My God. Sick. But Gray, that's because we have laws, Gray. Yeah, we get it. We get it. Hey, thanks, Allison, for the Venmo. Yeah. Well, I wasn't joking. That's why. What am I probably right about, Cindy? Not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, he should be set free because there was no DNA even through should be set free because there was no DNA even though there was someone who did it. They didn't leave DNA, even though everything point. All right, right. I always tell people. I think it's funny that people say that. Well, it's true. I mean, Dr. Grande said exactly what I just told you. He said I was incredibly accurate describing how he represented the case on his channel. Hey, thank you, Queen Bee. Appreciate that. Very kind, very kind. Uh-oh. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I just got thrown in jail by Daphne. After all this time, I got tossed in the brink. And there it is, everybody. So mean. Remember the good old days, Daphne, when we did those trials during the day and everybody was getting along? And no, she didn't call me mean. She never does. Gray, why do you have to be so mean? I think she's being sarcastic. Right, Guinevere Moonmist? All right. I'm in prison now, you guys. How do we get out of prison? Well, that's the bail. The so mean jail. Gray, why do you have to be so mean? There was no DNA. Right. And guess what? What's the main theory by the wackos out there? Look at Ali Cake bought me some ramen. Well, the main theory by the wackos out there is that a pack of wild Odinists did this. Wouldn't it be more likely that there was DNA found at the scene with a pack of Odinists? Or is it more likely that one person who said you'll not find anything at the crime scene that connects me, that person didn't leave any DNA? Interesting, isn't it? But Gray... Man, I got ramen. Am I just going to sit here in jail, you guys? I might be here the rest of the night, given the way things have been going. A cold case detective said same thing. I think Alan are guilty. Well, he's an idiot then, Beverly lawyer. Isn't that sad? Let's see. I arrived and you're in jail. Maybe that's why, KME. You were about to be here and I got tossed in prison. Why would she get remarried, man? Man, who would she marry, Glam Dolly? Man, I'm in prison. Sarah 67. We've got the filing, the biscuit with a file in it. Might be making its way to my cell. Still need to get out of prison, bribe the guard, post bail, and get the hell out the door. Now, if you guys don't want to get me a ride to the hotel and a meal, then that's fine too. But thanks, Bama Girl. I'm now opening the cupcake. I've got the file in my hand. Opening the door. Eating your own poop. Hey, come on. I'm Greg, Guinevere. I know you've been helping the guy named Greg, but let's see. Hey, Greg, start smearing crap and claiming that... Okay, hold on. Oh, you guys, tell me it wouldn't be funny if... oh, man. If I got like a big handful of brownies and I was in here and I go, oh! It just smeared it all over my face. Oh, come on. That would be funnier than hell, wouldn't it? You know it would be. Hey, Kathy Friedenmaker. I got some more ramen and she gave me some bail. So I got that. I got it posted. It was a really low bail. I'm walking outside. I could go like, we're all Richard Allen. Come on, that would be funny. We're all Richard Allen. Oh yeah, you know that would be good. Yeah, how would I get out of there? How would I get out of there? Yeah. Yeah, it's just brownies, Lillian. Just brownies, like actual brownies. Come on, Lillian. And Kathy won't stay loyal to her child murderer. Yeah, but I mean, who? You know, would you want to marry? You know, I don't know. It'd be tough. Yeah, there's no insanity plea. All right. Anyways, thanks for bailing me out. I'll get out of here. Pretty weak bail stint there, though, you guys. I gotta admit. Whew. Wow. Yeah, at least we got out, though. At least we got out. Chewbacca. Oh well, Wendy Wibbles got me a taxi ride to the nearest homeless shelter. Thank you so much. Oh wait, it's brownie mix. Okay, well, we'll have to figure something out with that. Maybe if I buy a couple ding dongs or ho hos. A ho ho might be good, right? Or what was that in the Caddy Shack? It was a Baby Ruth bar, right? There you go. Floating in the pool. You guys remember that, right? Most interesting case. I don't know. I guess one of the bigger cases, I would think the Long Island serial killer was one of the most interesting ones. Delphi was always interesting to me, just because we were trying to figure out stuff and it was cold for so long. But yeah, there's some that are really like intricately put together, but well, good, Paulette Leonard. I made people laugh. That's what we do here sometimes. Of course, 40 people left because I made them laugh. But that's okay. You didn't make me laugh, Gray. I thought it was gross. Ooh, Jesus. Let's see. No one's crying over. There will be, man. Rex Huerman, he must be innocent, man. Pretty soon, these guys are going to start defending. What the hell's that guy's name? Stefan Stearns. Yeah, he's next on their list. They can just find one shred of something they don't like in terms of the prosecution. These guys are going to start defending Stefan Stearns. How do we know he took those pictures? I mean, he could have had the... Yeah, Dlisk is amazing. It's really complicated stuff. Just lots of victims. I bet there's dozens. I bet there's 10 or 15 more people he's killed. And I think every single body along that free highway are his victims. The Asian male, the girl, every one of them. And I've said that since the beginning. People go, well, we don't know these. Oh, come on, really? Jeez. That'd be too coincidental. But how do we know ASB 412? I mean, maybe he's been railroaded, Stefan Stearns. I mean, that's mean. Right. You're probably right about that one, Guinevere. All right, let's go. I want to do this right here. So here's the interview from October 26, 2022. In the video of the October 26, 22 interview, Holeman told Allen police had taken a gun, knives, clothes, and his car. They discussed guns and Allen's time in the military. Allen said he hadn't shot in a long time. When Holeman asked if Allen had loaned out any items that police seized, he responded, "If I did, I certainly don't remember." The investigator asked Allen if he was carrying knives or guns on the trail. Allen said he just went for a short walk that day. Well, that didn't answer the question, did it? Then Holeman informed Allen, so on a longer walk you take knives and guns? Then Holeman informed Allen about the firearms analysis that matched a cartridge found at the scene to a Sig Sauer P226 seized from Allen's home. And by the way, that last recounting wasn't from the video. It was them saying what Holeman said Alan said. If that makes any sense regarding the comment about, let's see. Actually, I can't even remember what the hell. Maybe I was referring to the Mullen one. Was it the Mullen one? So that would have been what he said in the interview. Okay. So that was the video. All right. Holeman told him that firearms leave marks that are just like fingerprints. That's not true. He told him prosecutors wanted to lock him up, but Holeman was on, but I'm on your side, man. They want to lock you up, but I'm on your side. I don't even know how my bullet would have gotten out there if that's my bullet, Alan said. There's no way. Right. Holeman told Alan the media would portray him as a monster. Are you the mastermind behind this? He asked Alan. Because again, at the time, they thought that Keegan Kline was involved. Because it's just way too coincidental. Final. Yeah, we're all Richard Allen. No, Soylent Greenie says, people are eating people. I think it was Rick Snay may have just watched Soylent Green. Yeah. It's called Soylent Green. Yeah. People are eating. That's a great movie. The original. They should redo that one. Well, no, they shouldn't. Just watch the original, for God's sakes. Just like Omega Man was better than the one that Will Smith did. It had a different name, but it's the same movie. Mastermind, Alan responded with a sarcastic chuckle. Are you the mastermind? He had a sarcastic chuckle. If you don't tell me, you're going down for this, Holeman said. Do you realize what you've done to me? Alan asked. There is no way a round from my gun was anywhere near the girls or the bridge. We're trying to help you, Holeman told him. The damage is done. Go ahead and do what you're doing. Yeah, so a round, he probably meant like he thought, because he didn't fire his gun. So he was certain they don't have a bullet that was fired, right? But what they have is a completely unspent cartridge. And Richard Allen didn't realize that an ejected gun could be traced, as most of us. The damage is done. Go ahead and do what you're going to do, Allen said, adding that he could never do what police were suggesting. Yes, Richard Allen, because you are just a fantastic human being, right up there with Mother Teresa. In fact, I think you should be canonized, perhaps even a saint. Richard the Saint Allen. Saint Richard, we might start calling you, because you're one of the greatest people on the planet. And welcome, Melissa Moondrop Burst. Hey, we got another moon something in there. Look at that. You got Moon Mist and Moondrop Burst. And then we got Starburst. Wow, how does that even happen? We've got Moondrop Burst, Starburst, and then... wow, Lisa Taylor, Tiff Turtle, and NBG. Yeah. It did not come out of my gun, he insisted. The damage is done. Go ahead and do what you're going to do, Allen said, adding that he could never do what police were suggesting. It didn't come out of my gun, he insisted. Holeman said the death penalty was on the table. Allen said he didn't really care about living and discussed his mental health. He started cursing. Kill me, Allen said. Make my wife effing rich. Such a clever guy. Holeman pressed him about the Delphi murders. You're the last person to contact Abby and Libby, he said. I never met them, Alan responded. DNA taken, further denials. Holeman then left. Alan sat by himself and shook his head when, when Holeman returned, he had a warrant for DNA and took swabs from Alan. The girls have a video of you, Holeman said. I know you're trying to trick me into saying I killed them, Alan responded. I'm not going to say something I didn't effing do, he added. What was I involved with? I don't know, Holeman answered. You tell me. You were there. This is the time to get it out in front of this. See, that's the whole thing, is he was trying to get out in front of it when he called the tip line. And, and then when he finally was arrested and he saw the evidence they had against him, that's when he confessed to his wife. And then, and only then, Dr. Grande, after he confessed, he also did one in March and he did one in April. And it wasn't until after he confessed did he have his psychotic episodes. Everybody knows that, right? His wife hangs up the phone call, calls his attorneys. Then his attorneys came in, and wouldn't you know, the very next day, he's eating his own crap. He only needed just a little bit of soy sauce and Tabasco to make it all go down. Yeah, it was, so that's what they were doing. Yeah, da-na-na-na-na-na-na, Scat Man! There you go, True Sleuth. There you go. I don't know why I'm going to put a little... Never mind. I know you're trying to trick me. I don't know, Holeman answered. You tell me. You were there. This is the time to get out in front of this. There's no way you can explain all the evidence away. If you got somebody that's saying I helped him, they are effing crazy, Alan said. If you're going to arrest me, arrest me. I'm done. He then told Holeman, I think nothing you have is going to show me near the murder scene. Isn't that amazing? Well, Richard, we got the bullet, right? And so here's what he knows. Is he knows he didn't have his phone turned on that day. And he knows he left had his phone at home and it wasn't turned on and his phone is missing. So he knows that. He also knows that he took precautions to not leave any DNA nor touch the girls while he was there. Just had to drag 20 feet and that was it. Then he also realizes that he didn't fire any bullets and thinks that there's no way to connect that bullet because it wasn't fired. And so he's wrong on all... Well, he's correct about the DNA, but he knows that. That's why he's saying, I think nothing you have is going to show me near the murder scene. Why would you even say that kind of comment? Wouldn't you just say, I was nowhere near the murder scene? Why would you say, again, I think nothing you have is going to show me there? Just like he said, well, I didn't do it. If the girl took that picture, then it's not me. Okay? He makes these comments knowing that it's him and knowing what he did, and it's affecting the way a person would speak naturally back if they weren't actually the killer. I mean, I honest to God, you guys, I'm not like this expert on that shit, but you can listen to him, and it's crazy. Holeman left Alan alone again, and then the video cut out. When the investigators returned, he asked Alan about the cartridge found at the murder scene. Alan again told him it wasn't his, and it wasn't possible for the cartridge to be from his gun. Maybe you did do this. Maybe you did do this all by yourself, Holeman suggested. There's some missing pieces. My wife is going to tell you there's no way in hell I'd ever do this. Okay. Right. She's going to tell you there's no way you could have done it, but she wouldn't know, right? I mean, that's a weird sentence again right there, right? That means he's talked to her and said, you better tell them that there's no way that I could do this. And then he says, hey, she's going to tell you there's no way in hell I'd ever do this. There's no way possible that a round from my gun ended up at a murder scene. Alan told Holeman he refused to sit there all day and try to convince him he wasn't responsible for the Delphi killings. Holeman left again and then returned. He asked about a round found in a Cape Seek box in Alan's home. It was similar to the unspent bullet found next to the girls. What did he say about that? We know you have some anger issues, Holeman told Alan. He theorized that Alan encountered the girls, they made him angry, and he racked the gun. I don't agree with that at all. And he racked the gun to scare them, ejecting the cartridge in the process. I don't agree with that at all. And they know he didn't make him angry. They have the video. It's just that's what he was doing. I went for a walk and I went home, Alan told him. Holeman asked about Ron Logan, who owned some of the property near the trail. FBI documents showed agents searched Logan's property. Holeman asked about Ron Logan, who owns some property near the trail. FBI documents showed agents searched Logan's property after the murders and looked at him and any possible involvement. They found nothing. What about Ron Logan? Do you know Ron Logan? Holeman asked. Alan shook his head in the negative. You and I know statistically that the evidence doesn't lie. Clearly it does, Alan retorted. He mentioned that the cartridge couldn't have come from his gun and said he carried the firearm only when he went fishing or mushroom hunting. So that's the only reason it couldn't be yours? Jeez. It didn't come from my gun, is what I'm telling you, Alan said. Holeman told him that the crime lab tested several other firearms and only Alan's matched the round recovered at the crime scene. The state expert testified earlier this week that she examined 8 firearms in connection with the Delphi murders. I can't just type this shit up, Holeman told Alan. I can't take this to a jury of your peers. Or I can take this to a jury of your peers. Once again, Holeman left the room. This time, Alan did as well. The interview resumes. The interview soon resumed with Holeman saying, I don't think you're a bad person. What kind of a good person kills 2 people? Alan asked. That's such a weird response right there. I don't think you're a bad person. And it's almost like, again, it's almost like an admission, right? Yeah, but I mean, what kind of a good person, or that, you could look at it that way, or you could look at it like he's saying, well, you think I killed the girls, so what kind of a good person would kill 2 people? He said he couldn't tell Holeman something he didn't know. I didn't murder the 2 girls. I wasn't involved in killing 2 girls. 2 little girls, he said. Which is what Doug Carter would always refer to them as, the little girls. Who would kill 2 little girls? Isn't that amazing? I wasn't involved in killing 2 little girls. And Doug Carter said that. He actually said that exact phrase in I think it's the February 22nd full interview, press conference. Who would kill 2 little girls? Who would do such a thing? And there he goes. I wasn't involved in killing 2 little girls. Don't you find that interesting? That he uses the same phrasing? Holeman left again. Alan's wife, Kathy, then walked in. Alan told her it was going to be all right. You still there, Cindy? This is what you wanted to hear, this part, right? Cindy J. I don't think you're a bad person. Oh, wait, no. Holeman left again. Alan's wife, Kathy, then walked in. Alan told her it was going to be all right and said there's no way it could have been him. I don't know what they're trying to do here, he said. I didn't murder anybody. I didn't help anyone murder anybody. How did a bullet from your gun get there? His wife asked. I don't know, he answered. So now he's admitting. See, when you say right there, it can't, just say it can't be from my gun because I wasn't, there. But instead he says he doesn't know how the bullet that does match got to the crime scene. The pair said, I love you, and shared a kiss. That's probably the last kiss they ever had, actually. This is exactly what I would never want for you, he said. They're trying to talk about my anxiety and depression shit. He said, if that bullet came from my gun, there's no way it came from their investigation. If that bullet came from my gun, there's no way it came from their investigation. The video cut to the black. Huh. That's sort of an interesting comment. When it resumed, Holeman was back in the room with Alan and his wife. You're going to drag your effing daughter and wife into this because you're too effing bullheaded, Holeman said. Tell him, Kathy. Tell him to do the right thing. With that, Kathy Allen left the interview room. You want to F with me? F with me, but leave my wife out of this, Allen told Holeman. Holeman responded by yelling at Allen. Did you see those 2 dead girls? Arrest me, Allen said. Happy to, Holeman responded. You're guilty, and I'm going to prove it. At that point, the court adjourned and remained in recess until 1:45. That's probably when they went over the next one, I guess. So, I guess that, oops. Let's see what 30 is. Maybe we'll do 30. October 30th, should we do that one? Richard Allen gives his account. Yeah, let's do this one. Kind of long, but hey, we'll just do one more, you guys. Might as well, right? And thanks for everybody still hanging out here. We are now 2 hours and 20 minutes in. Maybe this will only take 40 minutes. Yeah. So anyways, let me go over this while we're still sitting here. All right. The reason Richard Allen is 100% the bridge guy is based on this. First of all, just realize that this is 3 girls, there's actually 4. So pretend there's 4 spheres there. They were actually at this Freedom Bridge at 12:25, and another photograph shows that they were there. Then they walked all the way down this direction and went to the Freedom Bridge. That means while they were walking, they did not see Richard Allen, and they didn't see him at 12:43, and then they walked all the way this direction, and at 1:26 they're at a bench where they took a photograph. They didn't see Richard Allen the whole time. So them being there during that time also proves that Richard Allen's 12 to 1:30 story is false. It's fake. It's not real because he wasn't there, nor has his phone ever been found, nor did his phone ping there with the IMEI number. So at 1:26, the girls are at the bench. Then 1 minute later, see the black car driving by? A vehicle matching the description of Richard Allen's 2016 black Ford Focus drove by with matching rims. They had the similar type of rims when it drove by, particular to that 2016 model. Then he goes to the abandoned CPS building and parks his vehicle. There are no other buildings in the area that he could just park at. They're all private. This one's the only one that was abandoned. Then he got out of his vehicle, and he says he walked to the Freedom Bridge. Then he said just after the Freedom Bridge, he passed 3 girls. He saw 3 of the 4. He passed them, and those same 3 girls, 3 of the 4 girls came forward and said that they saw him as well. So he saw them, and they saw him. And they said the person they saw, they described him, one said all black, one said all blue, one said dark blue pants and a dark blue jacket. But yet they all just saw one person. But when shown the picture, all 3 of them, of the person in Libby's video, all 3 of them said that's the person they saw. The person they saw is Bridge Guy. And then Richard Allen said after he passed those 3 girls, he went to the Monon High Bridge. So there you go. Look at that. It takes 11 minutes. He walks down here. He likely passed these girls at like 1:34, let's say. Parks there, 1:29. Takes 3 minutes to walk. Maybe sat in his car for a minute or two. Then he walks down. Let's just say 1:34. He passes the 3 girls. He gets to the bridge at 1:45. Takes 11 minutes. That's walking quickly. And then here comes Betsy Blair. If we go back a little bit, right now she drives underneath Old State Road 25 and looks up and sees those 4 girls walking across, which then verifies that one of the girls' statement about, well, I think I left at like 2:15 is just wrong, right? Because there they are walking across at like 1:45. Then Betsy Blair, just as Richard Allen's getting to the bridge at 1:45, a minute later, Betsy Blair passes the Hoosier Harvest Store, parks across from the Mears property, and gets out. About 2 minutes after she got out of her car, Abby and Libby were dropped off, and then Kelsey continues on, and she's seen on the Hoosier Harvest Store at 1:49 and leaves the area. And so Betsy Blair, who's exercising, is moving quicker, plus she's older than Abby and Libby, is moving quicker and goes towards the bridge. And as you can see, it's just Richard Allen right there. He's on. So look at it like this. The girls are walking slower. They're taking pictures, having fun, etc. Betsy Blair's exercising. She makes it to the barricade, which turns out to be 111 feet, not 50 feet, from platform 1. And she turns around, but she sees Richard Allen. Because this is Richard Allen right here, standing on platform 1. So we have Richard Allen admitting to passing the 3 girls. Takes 11 minutes to get to the bridge. He's standing on platform 1, exactly where Richard Allen said he was standing in the interviews, and Betsy Blair sees him standing there, exactly where he is supposed to be at exactly the time he's supposed to be there, wearing exactly the same clothing as the bridge guy, the blue jeans, the dark blue or black Carhartt jacket, with a hoodie and some sort of head covering, which turns out to be a skull cap. What's going on, Cindy? Then Betsy Blair turns around and she starts walking in this direction after seeing Richard Allen standing on the first platform, passes Abby and Libby, and she saw their pictures in the paper and said, oh, that's who I saw. I walked right by him. And that means law enforcement's known this for years, that Abby and Libby then run into bridge guy, because Betsy Blair even said the person she saw was the same person in Libby's video, even though her description was different out loud, like, he kind of looked like this, but then saw the picture, oh yeah, that was him. All right, so then Richard Allen, I think, passes the girls and just kind of goes back a little bit onto the trail. This is part I'm adding in here because he is there, and we know that because look at Betsy Blair. She would have seen Richard Allen had he left. He didn't. Because even right there, he should have been about right here if he was leaving. And she can see from here to there, and you can easily see down the trail and go, oh yeah, I think I saw the guy coming. She didn't see him. And the reason she didn't see him is because Richard Allen is on the other end of the bridge wearing the blue jeans, the dark blue or black Carhartt jacket, the hoodie, and some sort of head covering. And he's racking a bullet, has the girls go down the hill. And as we know, if you go down to here, here's the same area. Richard Allen takes him down right there, and I think he took him right back to this spot. They're probably there by 2:22-ish, something like that, maybe 2:18 to 2:22 right here. Then a white van drives by, and driven by Brad Weber, and he looks up and sees it when it's about right there. And he says he gets scared, and then he takes the girls across the creek over there. And then I think he continued to do what he was doing on the other side of the creek. And then he said that he killed the girls. He covered them with branches. He made sure that they didn't suffer, he said. And that he killed them out of selfishness because he wanted to protect himself. And then he left, not on the trails, made his way back to his car and lived his life. And that's exactly what happened. I'm not sure what that means, Brian. Nobody knows what that means. Richard Allen is guilty. I agree with jury. I'm just saying there are better ways to get subscribers. What are you talking about? Nobody knows what you're even saying, man. Well, the reason I don't get bigger chats is because I don't fit the box. What is this guy saying in here? Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I think that guy was just a troll. I don't know. I don't have any idea. No, they removed. I don't want to have comments removed that don't agree with me. Okay, you guys. I don't care. I don't mind if there's disagreeing. We've talked about this. They can have their own opinion, but I'm going to say what I think back. And I don't. I'm one of the people in the world. You know the whole statement when people say you have to respect everybody's opinion. I don't agree with that. Okay. I respect your right to have an opinion. I completely do. Even the wacko hard lefty nut jobs out there, they have the right to have their opinion. But what I'm not required to is to respect their opinion. Okay, I think that's the most ludicrous sort of euphemism or whatever the hell you want to call it, phrases that are out there. It's stupid. Nobody's required to respect somebody's opinion, but you are required, I think, in the United States, to respect the right to have one. So I'm okay with somebody having a stupid opinion, but I get to also give you my opinion of their opinion. You get it? So that's the part, and then you do that, and then they go, "Good, great," and then they get really upset, and they start acting out, throwing a tantrum, and that's when they're removed from the channel. Do you get it? There's a big difference there. Yeah. So you might think what I'm saying, you don't respect what I'm saying, but I try to comment using rational thought. So it's hard for people to go, God, that's just total bullshit, unless you are a conspiracy nutter. Okay? Because guess what, everybody? Brian Koberger is the killer in the Idaho 4 case, and it hasn't gone to trial yet. He is the killer, though. There is no doubt about it. All right, the probable cause absolutely locks him in, just like the Delphi case. And we'll be going over that probable cause tomorrow again with all my maps and models and everything. So it'll be really interesting for you guys. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, let's do day October 30th. All right, here we go. I'm going to do it. I want to see what Dr. Walla was saying. On day 11, Dr. Monica Walla took the stand. She was employed as the lead psychologist for the Indiana Department of Corrections and was technically a contractor. She primarily worked at the Westville and provided services to Allen while he was in custody. Walla took on Allen because of the high-profile nature of the case. She first saw him in November 2022. He was frequently on suicide watch, which meant corrections personnel had to keep him on close observation. Hold on. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to try turning off. I don't know if anybody got any ads during the show, but I'm turning off the monetization, and then I'll wait 30 minutes after the show's over and try to monetize it. I think it makes it work better. See if it works. Anyways, Walla took on Allen because of the high-profile nature. Walla didn't initially discuss the Delphi murders with Allen and discouraged him from talking about the case with others. In an April 5th, 2023 patient complaint, Allen said, "I killed Abby and Libby. I'm sorry." He said he made sure they were dead so they didn't suffer and believed they were deceased by the time he left. He was back on S-Watch, I guess you have to call it, at the time. He became tearful and said he committed the murders by himself. According to Walla's account, Allen said his intentions were sexual in nature, and he alluded to having a sex addiction. He believed the girls were older, perhaps 18 or 19, although he also thought they could have been as young as 11. He also said he was an alcoholic and had been both a victim and perpetrator of child molestation. He wanted to apologize to the girls' families. Alan told Walla he was glad he didn't kill himself and expressed appreciation for being housed and clothed at the facility. He told her he slept with his Bible and had committed himself to God. His thought process was all over the place at times, and his emotions were up and down. During a May 2nd report, Walla noted that Alan said he killed the girls, asked if it was okay for him to kill himself, and added he didn't want to die because he was too much of a coward. Oh, by the way, it was okay that you removed that person's comments, because in the chat isn't a place to sort of ruminate and try to, sort of put little comments in there to try to make, hey, great, I think the show could be better if you really give a shit, send me an email, okay? But if it's more than 8 words, I'm not reading it. I mean, I don't need a novel. Like, I get these ones that are 4,000 pages, single spaced, and I just I don't have time. I mean, it could be more than 8 words. I'm just saying. I don't need the full, you get these ones, they want you to read something and take an hour and a half to read, and I just don't have time, man. I'm so busy. He also said he wanted to apologize to the girls' families, he said. Alan told Walla he was glad he didn't kill himself. Okay, his thought process was all over the place. During a May 2nd report, Walla noted that Alan said he killed the girls, asked if it was okay for him to kill himself, and added he didn't want to die because he was too much of a coward. Right. See? And he was selfish. That's why he didn't, that's why he killed the girls, so they wouldn't recognize him. He had trouble staying on topic, but Walla noted he didn't appear psychotic. She believed he had situational psychosis, meaning he would have episodes of psychosis at times and then go into remission. On May 3rd, Alan wanted to call his wife and recounted the events of February 13th, 2017. So this one, I guess this one here is after he was, quote, had psychosis. Except, aren't false confessions where there's false information in them? This one is like filled with facts, and it's crazy. He said he saw his mother in the morning in Mexico, Indiana, which is just north of Peru, Indiana, which is where Keegan Kline and his father lived, amazingly. He told Walla he drank 3 beers and then went to the trails. He also mentioned he got his coat. See, that's where you need the transcript, if it exists. It does exist for this part. He saw Abby and Libby walking on the trail and followed them. He said he did something with his gun, and that's when the bullet fell out. He ordered the girls down the hill with the intent to assault them. By his account, he saw something, so there's no man. He said van. He saw something, a van. It was unclear in court. That startled him. He ordered the girls across the creek, cut their necks, and then covered their bodies with tree branches. He walked to his car, which he parked at a nearby building. Walla noted that Alan seemed relieved after the admission. Alan continued to live his life as normal after the killings, he said. I wish that was recorded, that one. On May 5th, Alan was at a high risk for S, leading guards to watch him closely. On May 9th, he said, "I just want to sign my confession." Wallace suggested he talk to his attorneys. See, look, she was trying to help him, you know. Allen talked about planning his last meal and taking his own life. He exhibited no evidence of psychotic symptoms, Wallen noted. On May 10th, Allen had trouble with his prison-issued tablet. He was able to call his wife. During that conversation, he mentioned the electric chair and asked if his family still loved him. I didn't do everything I said I did, but I killed Abby and Libby. So I wonder what he's talking about. He said during the conversation, his wife hung up on him. And it says his wife hung up on him. On May 11th, Allen said he wanted closure by apologizing to the girls' families, adding that he needed to forgive himself. Right. This is what I keep telling people. This guy begged people. I mean, here's the thing, is I think Richard Allen, you know, he kind of worked himself up. I don't think he's ever killed anybody before. He worked himself up, and then he killed the girls for self-preservation, and it just ate away at his soul, and that's why he looks so different and changed him so much in those 5 years. And, you know, he actually had remorse, you know, and there's nothing, you know, hey, Gray, that's the... No, it's not. It means he had remorse. He's a sick bastard. But he had remorse, and I think that's why he was letting Abby dress again. But then, out of self-preservation and selfishness, he killed both of them, and he left. And then here he is. He lived his life, and now that he's caught and he's seen the information, he's trying to unburden his soul. You know, after accepting God, etc., he's trying to unburden his soul from the hell that he's in, you know. Like I said before, it's like Golem in Lord of the Rings, you know. The ring in Lord of the Rings on Schmeagol turned him into Golem. I think the weight of what he did to those girls is what's ate him away over the years. And nobody would listen to him. He tried to get them to listen, to unburden himself from what has been. I'm just kidding. But yeah, he, you know, they just wouldn't listen. I mean, isn't that sick? You know? I mean, I think if he went into psychosis after that, it's because his family and attorneys wouldn't allow him to confess. Yeah, I think he was actually trying to, you know, confess and move on. You know, he was just going to go through the system, but, you know, try to make things right because he wanted to see his family in the afterlife. Right? But somebody convinced him otherwise. You know? It's weird. And all this shit had to happen because his attorneys who thought, wow, this is a big case. You don't let us down, Richard. We got to keep on going. On May 11th, Allen said he wanted closure by apologizing to the girls' families. After a break in the proceedings, while discussed... Actually, on May 11th, Allen said he wanted closure by apologizing to the girls' families, adding that he needed to forgive himself. You know, I mean, that's as clear as you can get, you guys. I mean, it's just crazy. After a break in the proceedings, Walla discussed Allen's bizarre behavior and said she believed he was faking symptoms. In an April 10th report, she mentioned that papers were strewn all over the place. In his cell, she believed the documents were from discovery materials. She said it appeared he received those materials around the time he started confessing to the Delphi murders. In an April 13th report, Wallace said Allen's behavior became stranger, with him lying in and consuming feces. She believed he was having an emotional breakdown from guilt and believed the behavior surfaced after he saw the discovery evidence. An August 3rd report noted that Allen said he wanted to go to heaven, but he was afraid of dying. He was confused and not rational anymore. And then Rosie's cross-examination. During cross-examination, defense attorney Brad Rosie tore into Walla on the stand, questioning her credentials and her interest in the Delphi murder case. Walla told the court she followed the case through podcasts and social media and even engaged, and I was one of the channels she watched along with Bob Mata's channel. As the investigation developed, she said she became more involved and used the IDOC database to search for information the public didn't have access to. She followed podcasts and online chat rooms, contributed information, and told people where to go for more information. She became even more interested in the Delphi case after Allen's arrest. Let's see. She followed podcasts and online chat rooms, contributed information. I wonder what information she contributed, though. I mean, it would suck if she put anything in there related to him, and told people where to go for more information. She became even more interested in the Delphi case after Allen's arrest. Oh, so she was following it before that. She shut her accounts down after someone pointed out she was following the case so closely. She didn't disclose her interest in the case to her employer. So beforehand she would was following the case and then would say, hey, go watch this guy or this guy or this guy, And then, lo and behold, she became his psychologist. You never disclosed to employer you were following the case so closely, Rosie asked. We discussed it when we learned he was coming into the facility, Wallace said. She told the court she never made a formal report. When Rosie asked her if she would stop following the case if she had to do it all over again, she replied, probably. She testified that she sometimes shared information with Allen about what she saw online. See, that sort of helped him. She said Allen's psychiatric history involved major depressive disorder. So I guess that part, she testified she sometimes shared information with Allen about what she saw online. But the thing is about the van, that part was never something that was part of any theories or anything that people had. And he confessed to that early, so I don't know. I don't know how long she talked to him. She said Allen's psychiatric history involved major depressive disorder and said it was possible he demonstrated characteristics of dependent personality syndrome. When Rosie asked if Allen was a fragile man while in IDOC custody, she answered he was. Rosie asked about his cell conditions and said the lights were always on. Walla told the court she believed he could dim them. Allen had no privacy in the cell, and Rosie suggested he was more secure or restricted than other inmates. He couldn't mingle with other inmates, Walla told Rosie. After lunch, Walla continued to be pressed by Rosie and admitted to traveling to the Mononhai Bridge to visit the area of the crime. She told defense attorney that she followed true crime in general, not just the Delphi case. During conversations with Allen, she allegedly told Allen at points to maintain hope by stressing that he had supporters out there. See? I mean, that sounds like she's helping him, Wallace spoke further on Allen's mental decline while in prison, specifically in April of 2023. She noted fatalistic delusions, hopelessness, insomnia, and suicidal ideations. Did you discover he had a grave disability? Walla was asked. Yes, she responded. This led to Allen's first dose of involuntary medication on April 13th, 2023. On May 11th, he received his second injection of, Haldol, a drug used for mental disorders. Isn't that the same thing they used in that movie? What was the movie with the dragon? The show on HBO with the dragon and everything, and that guy at the end was he was saying hold the door, but it was more like Haldol. What was that? Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Wallace stated how Allen continued to show signs of self-harm, such as bruising from banging his head, which led to other involuntary injections on June 5th. Waller agreed when asked if Allen met the criteria for serious mental illness. She also agreed that it was reasonable to believe that being kept in solitary negatively affected his mental health. In a May 2024 statement, Waller stated she began questioning whether or not she believed Allen was faking his symptoms. Waller stepped down from the witness stand at 3:10 p.m. Now there you go. All right. Well, we got all the way through October 30th. Not too bad. Any thoughts, you guys? Any thoughts? I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm tired. I'm actually going to make my own timing video. It's basically going to be just a video of like how, like, I guess what I could do is like Richard Allen's, basically from when he parks his car right to the start of the bridge. And then I'm going to use my animation, like pause it and go, okay, this is what we're going to see now. And then play that. And then I'll have a clock. Because you know when I went there, we never really stopped, right? We just kept walking. I mean, maybe for like 5 seconds when those idiots were there. But we just kept walking. And that, I think that would be a good comparison of time. Because we went right to the bridge. Yeah. Anyways. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. Appreciate it. Thanks to Timothy Cecil, Sunflower, new member, Richard Watts. Let's see. Long Island Hillbilly, Sandy Shirley, Chris Ketchmark, Karen, Herbert Landscaping, L. Waters, Chicken Wing, The Myth, Wendy Woobles, Lisa Noir 23, Lucky Lee, Liz Robb, Aggie, and then Guinevere Moonmist with a double cat eye there. Then Christy, Renee, Herbert Landscaping again, thank you so much. Quinn B, then Alley Cake, or Queen B, excuse me. Alley Cake, then K Me, then Sarah 67, Bama Girl 41, Alley Cake, Kathy Friedenmaker, Georgina Stoliker, Wendy Woobles, and then I gifted 5 memberships. So anyways, thank you guys very much for supporting my channel. Got through another long day again, another 4.5 hours of doing YouTube live streaming. It's a long time. But don't be fooled, everybody. Richard Allen is the killer. Rick Snay, Dr. John, whatever his face is, you know, he might say at the end, oh yeah, I think he's guilty, you know, but he's wrong. There is no reasonable doubt whatsoever. He doesn't know the case. That's why he's saying that. The defense attorneys out there, they don't know how to analyze a case from the facts. They look for ways to twist the facts to help their client. So that's what they're doing in this case too, which I think is really sort of harmful and detrimental to the psyche of society, where the truth is right in front of their face. They're just not going to say it because it doesn't. It's not their meal ticket. You know, they need to have. You know, all these people, thousands of people wringing their hands, you know, just, I mean, this is going to be like this huge industry for these people. It's amazing. Yeah, I just want to do one where I was walking out there, and it shows you the time frame. And then I think I have a good picture of how I'm going to do this. So, anyways, I was there when there was branches, though, so that kind of sucks. So, anyways, thank you all for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Or tomorrow night we're going to do, well, not tomorrow night, but it's going to be kind of a weird one. I think at like 3 o'clock I'm going to do the Idaho, so it'll be like 6 o'clock East Coast time. The Idaho probable cause again with all the stuff that we have. And then Idaho 4, Brian Koberger. And then I guess after that I'm going to have to play the entire day of trial again. But maybe I can, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So hopefully I can do like a couple hours of the Koberger and then have like an hour and a half to get the other things set up. So, all right, thanks everybody. See you guys tomorrow. And thanks again, Guinevere Moonmiss, for your generosity today, and everybody else too. But she kind of made like a huge chunk of today's revenue. So thank you. And yeah, the Pro Burgers are just as dumb. I mean, it's just crazy. There's no logic, rhyme, or reason or anything. So, anyways, we'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And thanks, Lillian. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person. Not even one? Crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya.
I have no agenda, I'm no pretender,
and I'll serve it to you
you're straight without a blender, and in the end, I'm gonna send ya
on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Wow, that was great, Mary Lou. You just kind of joined in at the end.
Well, I don't want to say anymore, Gray.
Okay, don't do it then.
Gosh, that's not very nice, Gray. You're supposed to say I love you too.
You know, you sound a lot like the Richard Allen people, that think he didn't do it.
Well, he didn't, Gray. Remember that one time when he...
Oh, God. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Wow. All right, we'll see you guys later, and be safe out there.